This is Explaining Reality.
Hey, I'm Nora, and today we're going to talk about a documentary on Netflix that's their number one documentary right now called The Crash.
The Crash. I've heard that, like, just some kind of headlines. Oh, I'm Colin. Uh, I've heard about. I mean, not anything about it, but I've seen that title recently. Didn't know it was a documentary. Didn't know it was on Netflix. But if that's the hot thing right now, is this a reality thing?
It's a reality. I mean, it's a reality thing in that this is real and it happened, but this is not a reality TV star, but definitely somebody who was trying to that's what she wanted to do. This is where it was somebody who could have been a budding reality TV star.
And this is something that's on Netflix or
It's on
just
it's
came
on
out, or
Netflix, and then there's also one on Hulu, um, called, something about Mean Girl Murders or something like that is what it's called on Hulu.
oh, all right. Um, so it's a like a series, or is it a movie?
So the Netflix one is specifically about this case. So let's get into it. So the case is about a girl. Her name's Mackenzie Shirilla. Have you heard her name anywhere?
No.
Okay. So she's 17 years old. She was kind of like the it girl in her high school. She really wanted to become an influencer, one of these people that, she posted all over social media, had the fake lashes. She would be like posing in designer clothes, trying to get brand deals, and just trying to make it as a social media influencer with in the world of pop culture, reality TV stars, all of them. That's how they all like get their start, is just kind of building a career on social media. And so she was young. She was only like 16 when she started doing this. And she, like all the it girls, had her boyfriend who was like the popular boy in school. And then she had this team of girls. So in the documentary, it almost sounds like a movie of these girls that they would just walk down the hallway in a line. And they were just like mean to anybody who wasn't pretty. And it was like straight out of a movie, the way they described this. Um, they painted this picture of this picture perfect relationship that she had with this boy. They were together for 4 years. They had this beautiful romance. They were going to get married and have kids, and life was picture perfect. But the truth of the matter was that there was like a lot of turmoil, fighting, and things like that that were going on in their relationship, but that you don't see on all you see on social media are the glamour shots and the duck faces, the little kissy faces that they make at each other. So Mackenzie, she's only 17. So I'm just going to fast forward to what happened, and then we'll go through why this became such a big story. Because what happened is that it was the night of graduation. Her boyfriend, she and her boyfriend's name is Dominique. They call him Dom. Dom and her were going to graduation parties, and I guess none of them were really all that. So they decided to go to her friend Rosie's house, and they go over there, and they bring Dom's best friend. He comes too, and then they're all hanging out at Rosie's. I have no idea where the parents are because this is bizarre to me. Rosie's boyfriend is there too. They're all teenage. Well, the boys are a little bit older, I think, because they were older. But Mackenzie's 17. Rosie's like 16, 17.
But all this stuff is like a dramatic recreation, I guess, what they're showing. Like none of this was like,
It
or
was like a dramatic recreation, but because she lives in this world of posting her whole life on
no, there's
social
like a
media,
lot of
they had
stuff.
so many
Yeah.
clips
Okay.
and
Okay.
videos, down to like she has videos that of her, smoking lots of pot, There was videos of her sticking her tongue out with mushrooms on it. I'm like I'm about to do mushrooms, like posting this all over the place. So, um, yeah, I don't know where any of the parents were because they were all at Rosie's house, and the way they described it is that they were smoking pot, watching a shark documentary. I don't know. That's what they were doing.
Hmm.
And they were hanging out. They all like fell asleep around like 3 o'clock in the morning. They said Mackenzie actually wasn't smoking pot because she had something going on. She was like had some viral thing, and she was like sick with her lungs. I don't know. The way they described it, they said she was like coughing up black stuff. I don't know. And
Okay.
she wasn't smoking. So, but there's a point to that. So she's the only one not smoking pot. A bunch of teenagers hanging out. No clue where the parents are. I guess they're just cool with these teenagers, their boyfriends smoking pot and all sleeping at their house. And they fall asleep. Okay, so the next morning, she's taking Dominique and his best friend Davion home. And
Dominic and Davion.
Davion, yeah, I think
Is
I'm
he a
saying his name
robot?
right. Davion. Davion. I think I'm saying it right. Anyway, she's
Yeah.
driving them home
Uh huh.
and they see there's street cams that show she's driving completely normal. And then out of nowhere, she goes to a part of town, like completely off course from going home. She goes somewhere else. And out of nowhere, she hits the gas at as hard as she can and accelerates the car up to over 100 miles per hour and slams into a brick building.
Ooh.
And the police arrive. Dominique and Davion are killed instantly. She survived. She's even conscious when the police are saying they show the body cam footage and they're saying she's breathing, she's breathing. What's your name? And you hear her say Mackenzie, and they get her out.
Ew.
Yeah. So she's taken airlifted to the hospital, and the initial reaction from the boyfriend and his best friend, their families, of course, is devastation.
Mhm.
But also they're like worried about her. Like, oh my gosh, is she okay? Because nobody really understood what all they knew was like they were coming home the next morning and had a car crash, a
Mhm.
group of teenagers. And so more and more things start coming out. And it turns out that she did this on purpose, that she had decided that she wanted to kill her boyfriend, and his friend was just collateral damage because he happened to hop in the car. He wasn't supposed to be there. He just needed a ride. He had nothing to do, like the boyfriend broke up with her. The friend had nothing to do with the situation, was just grabbing a ride and
Yeah.
died because of it. Um, she was supposed to die too. It was supposed to be some like murder suicide thing.
How
Uh,
romantic.
yeah, but she survived. So once she survives, she's like, "Oh crap, now I need to, come up with a story
Explain this,
of."
yeah.
Yeah, but she just has such zero remorse. That at first the families are like, "Oh my gosh, Mackenzie, is she okay? Like what happened?" And then when they start learning the details of she slammed into this brick building, and then they start investigating and they realize that her phone pinged 3 days before to that exact location, which is some remote location off the path of anywhere they would be going,
With a
which
nice
tells
brick
them that
wall.
she like scouted it out
Yeah.
and was planning to do this. Um, she had no drugs in her system or anything, so that was not, her family tried to say, "Oh, maybe it was, she was high." I don't know. Um, but she wakes up in the hospital and she's devastated, puts on this whole thing of devastation when she hears that her boyfriend is killed and that his friend is killed. Um, But then 2 days later, in the meantime, I was saying she was trying to make herself an influencer on social media, been posting all these different things with different brands. And one of a modeling company who didn't know she was in the hospital, didn't know this had happened, had messaged her on Instagram and on one of her pictures and said, "Hey, this is great. We'd love to use you as one of our models." And 2 days after these 2 died, she replies and says, "OMG, yes, I've been reaching out to you guys so much. This is so exciting. I would love to do this opportunity." And it was just so tone deaf because the parents are seeing it and they're like, "How is that even on your
Right.
mind right now?
So
You just killed 2 people. And
there's
you're
no
still in the hospital bed." Like,
right. Was there any disfigurement that that
"Oh,
would
no,
be
she's fine. She's
yeah.
completely fine." She had a couple, like, minor broken bones, but nothing that even kept her in the hospital, like, she wasn't in the hospital for a long time. Like I said, at the scene of the crash, she was able to tell them her name and stuff when
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
helping her. Um, she claims she has no memory of the crash. Everybody thinks that's kinda convenient. Um, she says that she has no idea why her cell phone would have pinged in that location. I think she's 17 and didn't realize that these are things that they could notice. She just says, "I don't know why
Right,
it
right.
pinged there."
It's because your
She's
cell phone was there, that's why.
the Yeah, exactly. And then you have to wonder what these parents are doing because she was also living with her boyfriend at the time, like when this happened. She's 17. Like my mom would never, ever let me live with a boy at 17 years old. Um, and the parents are just they're so tone deaf too, because there was somebody else on Instagram that posted something about her doing something with modeling. And the mother replied, and this is like right after the crash, where I guess she didn't even have her phone back yet. And the mom goes, "This is Kenzie's mom. She's so interested in doing this. This is an amazing opportunity. She's in the hospital right now. She was in an accident, but it wasn't her fault. Everything's going to be fine. And she's excited to do this with you." And so bizarre. I'm like,
Mm,
your daughter just killed 2 people. Um, this is not the time to be publicly posting about being excited about modeling deals. And
right, right.
yeah, not the time. Um, so she really feels like she is innocent and she ends up there's more and more things that she does that are just building a case. The accident I think happened over the summer, and in October, which was just a few months after, she and her friends, who were all good friends with these boys, thought it would be great to do an Instagram post on Halloween where they were all dressed up as corpses. Like,
Uh,
why? And so their families are seeing, and they're having fun, they're posing and laughing, and yeah, it was just so tone deaf. It was like, you should still be grieving. Like, this is not even not right.
well, I mean, she wanted to do that, so
Well, yeah, yeah, but she's maintaining her innocence that,
right, right, right.
um, so so then they release all of these conversations that she's having with her mom in prison, and, um, and
Wait, she's in jail?
oh, yeah, she went to jail. They arrested her. Sorry, I forgot to mention that part.
Yeah, okay, it's
So
a jump
so
ahead.
yeah, to jump ahead. Meanwhile, everything's pretty much proving the police did a full investigation, and what they discovered is that there was no attempt to hit the brake whatsoever. There was
Yeah.
no malfunction in the car whatsoever. The car was perfectly fine. There was no reason for this car to accelerate to 100 miles per hour and slam into the brick wall. That her cell phone had pinged, that there were messages to him in fights where she threatened that she would like kill him and if I can't have you, no one can type of crazy messages. Um, so oh, and there was this one line in the documentary that everybody's just having a field day with. One of her friends says, "I just don't think she would ever try to do like a murder suicide thing because she would never want to hurt herself. Because I went to McDonald's with her once and she wouldn't even eat a McChicken because she said it was unhealthy. So she didn't want to put that in her body. She's definitely not going to hurt herself. And she was dead serious when she said this. And I was
Well,
like,
right. And
ah,
everyone's got the McChicken test.
if she didn't order that McChicken, there's no way she's going to go kill herself.
Ugh.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so they arrest her. She goes to jail. And I guess she's just being like held there because then they're gonna have a trial to find out if she's guilty. And on the prison phone calls, she is like so giddy and excited talking to her mom. And she's telling her mom, she's like, her mom's like, you're not gonna believe this. This story like was featured in a on an article in England. You're getting international, and she's like, oh my gosh,
Whoa.
it's so exciting. And then she's like, "Do you think Kim Kardashian has seen it? Like, maybe we can reach out to her. Maybe she'd want to be my lawyer. That'd be so cool." Like, she's talking about this. These two boys are dead. Their families are devastated, will never be the same. And this girl's getting all giddy, hoping Kim Kardashian can come be her lawyer.
And that is kind of funny that well, first of all, like Kim Kardashian is not a lawyer, right? Didn't she give that up? I saw something about that.
I think well,
She kept
she wasn't
failing the bar.
having trouble passing the bar. Oh, but Kenzie discusses with her mom says, "I don't think she passed the bar." And she says to her, "No, she passed the baby bar. I looked it up. I think she can represent me." Like, they're
The
having a full
the
conversation,
baby
like the
bar.
reality could be that Kim K.
That's also funny because I mean, given her own family, uh, and like where most of their money came from originally, uh, defending people that
The
were
O.J.
definitely
Simpson
guilty.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah,
do you know
maybe
what she
Kim
was what was she charged with? Was it murder or was it
murder.
manslaughter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was, 2 counts of murder
Nice.
and I think some other things because they found in her bag she had, like, she had a digital scale, mushrooms, pot, all this stuff in her bag. So there was, like, additional charges on top of that but there
Uh-oh.
wasn't anything in her system. It was in her bag.
No drugs and no McChickens.
And look, her dad's a Catholic school teacher. And her mom, I don't know what she does, but she's like, she comes from a middle class family and she is in prison. First of all, the Instagram, you see these fake lashes and all this lavish, like she's doing all these like kissy faces. She's posting photos of her smoking pot, like so proud all over the internet. I'm like, okay, the parents are just totally cool with this. When she comes into court and suddenly she looks like a 12-year-old. She has no makeup on. She's got her hair just straight and flat. She looks like a little girl, a little
Where
child.
where is this?
Ohio.
Oh. I
This
wouldn't
is
have guessed that. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, this is in Ohio. And she comes in and she's just crying hysterically the whole time. And she's trying to give this poor little girl um act. And
Yeah.
she kind of is a poor little girl in a way because she got very failed by her parents. Like these parents, no, the parents letting her move in with her boyfriend as a teenager, smoking pot all over the place, having no consequences. She never, her whole life, everybody that knows her, that's one thing everyone said. Like they would everything, even if she's one that could do no wrong. Um, and even in this case, the judge even got mad at her mother because the mother, everyone else that got up
Uh,
had something to say about the victims and saying, um, I'm so sorry. The mother just spoke about Mackenzie calling her the victim and everything and it didn't even acknowledge. And the judge says to her, I'm hearing a lot about your daughter, but I haven't heard anything that you've said about these two boys that were killed. And she's like, well, she loved Dom very much. That was her boyfriend. The other one was just kind of a new friend. And like, I can't make this shit up. And the judge goes, so his life had no value? And because he's a new friend? She's like, well, I didn't mean it like that. And I'm like, what did you mean by that then? The other one
Yeah.
was just kind of a new friend who just kind of died at the hands of my daughter. Like, what?
Ugh.
So, anyway, so the jailhouse so here you see this girl who is just in court. She's this meek little mouse who just looks like this little girl, and she's like, "I'm so sorry," and she's crying, and she's like, you do feel for her. Then you hear these jailhouse, and I'm like, "Who is this?" Because she picks up the phone and she's like, yo, mom, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on with my fucking trial?" Like, that's how she's talking on the phone. I'm not even kidding. That's what, and the mom's
Well,
going, I'm like,
you gotta have like a persona in jail, I think.
and then she's at one point, she's like, yo, she's like, "This bitch won't shut the fuck up. I'm trying to talk to my fucking mom." I was like,
Yeah.
"What? What? Where's that little girl? Where's that sweet little girl?" And then the mother's going, "Okay, Kenzie, these calls are recorded, so just be careful." And she's like, "Mom, don't tell me what the fuck to do. You don't tell me what the fuck to do." Like yelling at her mom on the phone. I'm like, I'm 43 and would never talk to my mother like ever. Like, no. So your
Uh,
17-year-old, I'm like, okay, these parents. And even then, the mom's like, "I know, sweetheart. It's okay, honey." And I'm like, tell her, don't talk to me that way. That's why you're in prison. Like,
well, I mean, isn't the whole thing these days that parents are too overbearing and overprotective?
I mean, to an extent, I'm a helicopter mom, but I feel like
Yeah.
I'm a helicopter mom to the point that my son, I mean, when he's a teenager, I'm gonna be searching his room. I'm gonna be all over his social media. I'm gonna be making sure, like, no, there's like, he's not gonna talk to people with disrespect or do like, I'm gonna teach him to have morals and values
Yeah.
and, yeah, to care about others. And that's important. And in this case, I feel like this child, the parents let her down because they clearly didn't do anything to, if she's talking to her that way and the mom is just responding, it's so obvious that that's just the norm.
Right.
And that's, so that means that this mom has never shut that down. Um, and then all of a sudden they start talking weird. They're like, it sounds like they're speaking a completely another language. And that's what I thought. I was like, "Oh, it didn't sound like Spanish, but I wasn't sure what language it was." I was like, they're speaking a totally different language." And, it turns out that they have their own language that the 2 of them, like, use to speak to each other, like, they've had that since she was, like, a kid, and they speak it
Mm.
fluently enough. They're talking very fast to each other, and you can't understand what they're saying. So they broke it down, and it's called gibberish. That's how they're talking, but the 2 of them could understand. And what the way it works is you take, like, the word, like, "izzard," and you apply it before a vowel in a word. So, like, I don't know, like, hello would be like, hell izzard el izzardo or something like that. Like, it
So like a combination of Pig Latin and Snoop
yeah.
Dogg.
Yeah, that's a great way.
Yeah.
That's a great way to define it. Yeah, it's like a form of Pig Latin, but there's a lot of people that know Pig Latin, so it's like a
Ugh.
new form that people don't, so it took a minute, but they were able to decode what it was they were, because the mother and daughter frequently did this on these calls where they were talking
Yeah.
to each other like that. And she was saying, um, she said to her mom, "D- let's just say that I have a history of seizures and that we think that I had a seizure when I was driving the car." And um, th- I guess they thought we'd get away with this because we're talking in some our own private code that no one will be able to figure out. But they were
Right.
able to figure it out since all you were doing is inserting. It's like a puzzle, but they figured
Yeah,
it.
and they could figure out that, where her cell phone was, but not see if she has a history of seizures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the
Neat.
mom said in court that her daughter has, a condition called POTS, and, I guess that's a condition, not the drug, like an actual it's an actual condition. This is not a condition of smoking pot, although
Yeah,
she has that too, that causes blackouts and things like that. And but she was not able to produce anything that medically to show that she was diagnosed with this.
right.
And the judge said that if this was something she was diagnosed with,
You probably shouldn't be driving.
she wouldn't have
Yeah,
received a driver's license. The judge
yeah.
said that. And the mom said, "Well, we got her driver's license because we didn't mention it." And yeah, it's just more parenting, but that tells me I don't think she even has it. I think
Well,
that
no,
this
of
was
course not.
we
Yeah,
went home and Googled, like, what kinds of things can we say she had, to explain
yeah,
why she drove 100 miles per hour into a building and killed these 2 people. Um, she's only 17. Your brain does not fully develop until you're 25. So, I feel like right now she is this rebellious kid who just thinks she is, like, untouchable. Now she's in jail. On the calls, she's cussing and yelling at her mom, but she also sounds like a little kid where she's like, "Mom, you gotta get me out of here." Like, and the mom's like, "I'm filing appeals." Meanwhile, you see the mom on like TMZ doing all these interviews. I'm like,
good.
"Uh, you're soaking up the limelight."
Yeah.
Yeah. And the dad got fired after the documentary dropped. He was let go from the Catholic school where he worked.
Why? What did he do? Just because he was a bad
Well,
parent, or didn't?
yeah. I think because he didn't have the morals, and I mean, he was talking about it like even TMZ interviewed him and they said after he got fired, they're like, "So you said that you just didn't care that your daughter was like doing drugs and everything." He said, "It's not that I didn't care, it's just that I can't stop her. Like, what am I supposed to do? Kids are going to be kids. They're going to do what they're going to do." And he's standing by that there was just no accountability. There was no um there's things you can do when they are kids and they like rely on you. There are things you can take away. I'm sure that somebody was buying those designer clothes. Somebody's paying for her cell phone. You can't do that stuff when you're 17. So you cut them off. You say you lose your phone. You lose these privileges.
But
There
the
are
only
things you can do.
supposedly bad things she was doing was drugs.
Well, yeah, and a lot of girls came forward about what a bully she was in school. She
Yeah, I
was
mean,
very
maybe she was
mean
shitty,
and
but the
yeah.
the but like, I mean, as far as her parents are concerned, like they probably knew about drugs and probably didn't want her doing that, but that's like the only thing. She wasn't doing anything else, right? She wasn't like in trouble with
No, but I
anything.
mean, she's 17 living with her boyfriend, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know where any of the parents were in this whole story because it's all these kids taught. You would have thought they were like 30. They're like, "Yeah, then we all were at my friend's house. We're smoking pot all night, staying up, watching this shark documentary. We all spent the night." I'm like, was my house did I just grow up in a weird world where my mom was not cool with, like, my boyfriend and my friends and their boyfriends all smoking pot in my living room and sleeping over at 17? Like, not to say that stuff wasn't going
Yeah.
on. It was going on, like, outside at parks or somewhere it was not just, like,
Yeah.
in my parents' house.
I mean, but sure. And not defending it one way or the other, but I mean, in a lot of places, uh, that's probably a better option than other things they could be doing, especially when you
Yeah.
know where they all are, if you care. and and yeah, that's not the best thing they could be doing, but they certainly could be doing worse. Or even if they were doing that very thing, but just out in public, that would be worse, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
it's not good, but I think it's kind of weird that the the dad lost his job. Um, But I mean, those Catholics
Yeah.
love their morals, though.
Well, I think that, I don't know, I think it's some of the things he said, but also just as a teacher in general, just hearing he was not taking any, not that he needs to put the blame on his daughter, but he was not acknowledging any wrongdoing and in any of this or by himself. He
Yeah.
was saying like there's nothing that I could do, and then you're hearing her speak to his wife in this way of, "Mom, shut the fuck up. You don't tell me
Yeah.
what the fuck to do." And I'm like, that right there, because I can tell you like right now, like our son, yeah, as he gets older, he's going to make mistakes and he's going to do things. But if he ever told me shut the fuck up, Mark's going to say something. He's going to be like, "No, you do not talk to your mother that way." Like my
Sure, but
husband's
what if he's,
going to,
like, actually already in jail when he's saying it?
yeah, okay. Yeah, but like I said, you could tell clearly that this was not the first time she spoke to her
Yeah,
mother
yeah,
that
right,
way.
yeah.
This is how she speaks to her mom of, and the mom just goes, "Okay, you run the world and I just let you do it."
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and that's somebody who clearly has anger issues. The way she's yelling at her mom on the phone, and then the way, Dom, her boyfriend, was recording things like, because he was worried because her anger was out of control. And then she drives the car 100 miles per hour into a building. This woman clearly has anger issues that, maybe some type of counseling or something could have been addressed the first time she said fuck you to her mother. Like maybe that's when you call the counselor and say, we need to get something here, something in place. I mean, at least then they could say that later. God forbid something does still happen. They can say, we did everything we could. We tried to get her into counseling. We tried to get her help. We tried
Yeah,
to
but
do,
I mean, that's, a large jump from never getting into trouble to double murder, right? I mean, that's not, I mean,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it seems like it was a bizarre upbringing.
Well, a lot of her friends, there's people still, there's a whole page called Free Mackenzie that believes she's innocent. Um, I don't know. I watched the documentary and I felt like if it was my kid, I would want to somehow believe that they were not capable of doing something like this,
Right.
but nothing's adding up. Like, I feel like if she was innocent, there would be something where they show that the car malfunctioned or even that building maybe being on the way home. The fact that this was completely out of the way in a remote location that she had scouted 3 days before, none of that
Yeah.
makes any sense at all.
No, but I mean, even if her parents knew, 100% certainty that she did plan it and do it, then they probably still would not want her to be in jail or try to defend her to some extent. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
not that they would or that everybody would, but that's understandable, I think.
The place where the part, I guess, where I have, like, doubt, like, it would be tough for me to be on the jury for this one because everybody that was at the house the night before, and they were hanging out, and then they left at 6 a.m., they said that she fell asleep in her boyfriend's arms, and he was stroking her hair all night. There was no fighting, everybody was happy, they fell asleep, everyone was good. When they left the next morning, there was no there was nothing.
Mm,
And you go from that to 5 minutes later, 2 boys are dead, and she just drove 100 miles at 6:10 in the morning.
right, right.
What happened between that time of her laying snuggled up with him, happy as can be, to 10 minutes later murdering him or ready to take her own life?
Yeah.
And because she had no way of knowing she was gonna survive that. That car was destroyed, like, it looked like a ball of aluminum foil that you could just, like, toss into the trash can.
Yeah.
Um, so that's where I would have trouble as a jury, like, what transpired? Did she go visit that place before? Because he was talking and maybe they said that they were having some fights where he'd break up and then they get back together, break up. Maybe she was already having thoughts of if he really leaves me, this is what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Maybe when they got in the car, he said, "I had fun last night, but now we're done." And his friend in the back is like, "No, please don't do this now." Like, I
Right.
don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened during that time, and she claims she has absolutely no memory of it either. So the only person in the world that really knows what happened is her, because the other 2 are dead, and the people that were at the party all say like, it would have made more sense if they said they got in a big fight at the party and he broke up with her, and then this happened, but then you'd wonder why would he break up with her and then get into the car with her?
Yeah. Well, um, when did this happen? Was this last year?
This was, I think the crash was in 2022, but
Oh,
this trial has been going on, and she just got sentenced, to to to, 30 years in prison,
so she was
possibility of parole
convicted.
after 15 years. Yeah, she was found guilty on both charges, and she was tried as an adult. She was 17 during the
Mm,
trial, but she was tried as an adult, and, yeah, she's in prison. They say they wanna file an appeal, but I don't really know. I don't know what more like, they would need new evidence or something would have had to change and,
right.
to do that because everything was presented. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's a really sad story for everybody involved, but I think the tough thing is just hearing her calls because hearing her all giddy about her story making the news, replying to it's just like, this person
Yeah,
has no that would be
pretty
the
bad.
furthest thing from my mind if I, God forbid, if I lost my husband or something happened to him. I don't even think I could talk to anybody. I would just be so shut down, and she's just like, "Hey, when's my next gig? On
Yeah.
to the next." Weird.
So when did the trial was the trial wrapped up recently then? That's why
I
there's
think
these documentaries now?
yeah, and then The Crash came out, on Netflix, and it just has taken off, and I think because she's like a Instagram follower, I mean follower, influencer. She's a social media influencer, so she already had a big following and her friends are all doing the same thing. So like her friend Rosie, that's whose house they were at. She's at like 1 million followers. So these are kind of celebrities in a way in the world we live in now. It's like the
Mm,
reality TV thing. They're only 17, but it would not have been surprised at the rate she was going and the way her following was growing. Um, if we would have seen her in 5 years on Love Island or something on one of these shows, that's that's what all of these like influencers end up doing. They start doing this stuff around 15. By like 21, they're getting cast in these like reality TV shows.
and so this is just like a movie, like
Yeah.
2 hours or something? It's not a series.
No,
Okay.
this was just a movie. The series is called on Hulu was called Mean Girl Murders, and this was an episode in that series. I watched both. So,
Oh, so that's
because
a whole series about
different mean girls
similar
that murder.
things, but and
Yeah,
she had 1 episode. Okay,
she had
okay,
one
I see.
episode. The Crash is the number one documentary on Netflix right now, and the family's just profiting off of it. They're getting interviewed all over and loving every second of it.
Yeah.
They I would be in hiding. I wouldn't even wanna do this documentary. And even Mackenzie, she's in the documentary from prison, and she's still maintaining her innocence, and she obviously had a publicist meet with her or something because she had a softer look again, and she's talking to the camera about all this, but I don't think she realizes that then they're playing all her jailhouse calls where she's
Yeah.
just like giddy about Kim Kardashian and dropping the F bomb and yelling at her mom. And the real her is shown through those calls.
So when she's maintaining her innocence, like what is she giving the excuse? Like is she said she's saying she
She
had a
said it was in a
seizure or she
yes, that's what she's saying. She's saying that there was, that something she had a medical emergency, and, during that time, she thinks it was related to the POTS syndrome that she has, and she said that they were driving along, and suddenly she just blacked out at the wheel and couldn't move or see anything, um, and they slammed into the brick wall, but they weren't anywhere they shouldn't even been going that way.
right.
Like, if that's what was gonna happen, they shoulda hit something else, a tree on the way home or a house on the way home or something. Um, they were in a remote, like, location where she hit the gas leading up to like, at the end of this road was this, like, abandoned, like, brick building. It there was she knew that was there, and they
Yeah.
have they have cameras that show that she just made a beeline for it and was aiming for it, like,
Ugh. Ugh.
so the story doesn't make sense to say that they're those things happen, and I mean, you can have a medical emergency. There have been times that somebody has, like, a stroke or something behind the wheel, um, but she's
Just to have it in
17
the
and
perfect s- spot to do it and floor it and
yeah,
yeah.
and be like, yes, it was just
So overall, like this documentary on Netflix
mhm.
is, I mean, it's framing it as she's guilty, right? I mean, that's
Well,
what the
yeah, I mean,
takeaway
in the
should
eyes of the
be,
court, she is
right?
guilty.
Well, right,
She's
right.
so yeah, they're saying she's guilty, but they're trying to show all sides. Her friends are saying they think she's innocent. I mean, God, of course, she won't eat a McChicken, people. How could she possibly hurt
Drive
anyone?
into a wall on purpose. Yeah.
She'll put like psychedelic mushrooms in her body, but a McChicken, that's where she draws the line.
Well, maybe she should have been on drugs and
Well,
she wouldn't have driven into the wall.
well, maybe something prescribed. Like because she actually has a medical. But that's the thing. Like if she was really having these things, again, her parents failed her. If they did not go to the doctor and get her diagnosed, because I think you could
Just
see the mom stumped when the judge said she wouldn't get a driver's license if she had the POTS.
right.
And she was like, "Oh, we just didn't mention it." And then they weren't able to produce anything to show that she was diagnosed with that.
That's like I think the most concerning thing. I mean, I think it's probably all a lie anyway. They just try to like, well, she very clearly planned to do this and ran into a wall, and that's all obvious. So, like, what
Yeah.
else could we try? And well, maybe she has a medical condition. So that sounds just the way it's described that that's probably not true at all. But if somehow that is, then yeah, that's the biggest failure. Is like why don't we let this person who just sleeps every now and then, like inadvertently, drive a car?
Right.
That's the biggest problem, I think.
Yeah, that's yeah. No,
But
there's
like
so many.
lying to get the driver's license, that's
Yeah, why?
a
She's
big deal too.
17,
But
like,
the fact that you had to lie or know that, oh, sometimes she just blacks out.
blacks out
You
and yeah,
can't,
can literally kill anyone. Like, that's
shouldn't
okay. Let's
drive a
just
car.
yeah. Uh, that's why I don't think that's why I'm not buying it, that
Yeah,
that's what's going on. I think it's them scrambling and, to a certain degree, you have unconditional love, I can say, as a parent, you do have unconditional love for your child, like, but at the same time, I'm gonna always look for, like, red like, red flags or things to protect him from if there's something that's showing anger problems or there's something that's showing that there's and these parents, I think, failed at that. If their child or maybe that's just the world we live in today. Is that the world we live in today, that this is just how kids speaks? I didn't grow up like that.
uh,
I was 17 and if I was still saying Oh, HE double hockey sticks. Like, I wouldn't even say, like, I knew. I'm never cursing at my parents. No, no, no.
Well, that's a shame.
As a teenager, as an adult, not that I curse at them, but now my mom and I, we can have a conversation where we're speaking to each other as like friends and as adults. Um, if I don't yell at her, tell her to shut the fuck up.
Has she heard this podcast?
No, no, she has actually. um, but it got me thinking, like, the way they painted her in this documentary too, they did the whole picture of the girls walking down the hallway, and it was straight out of, like, one of the movies. They're in this line walking along, and all the other people, the peasants are standing next to the lockers, just
Mhm.
staring and idolizing them, and they're like, "Oh, we're just too cool." Um, and they said that she was very mean to some of the kids in school. And I think that that's where I kind of lost sympathy for her because I when I was in high school, there were bullies and they bullied me really bad. So, I was having flashbacks to, like, my high school where I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know exactly the type of girl she is. She did it."
Well, good. I mean, that's a good that's a good ending to her story then. Like a
Yeah.
double murder sentence.
I mean, you don't wanna see that with anybody, but,
Yeah.
you know. What was high school like for you? Were they bullies?
Not really. I mean, uh like no one was like mean in high school. I mean, at least to
It's 'cause
me.
you're a guy. Maybe guys were bullied too, but I feel like girls are just
Yeah, I'm
brutal.
sure there were, and but like nothing I can think of. Like I mean, it was like high school was I mean, and where I went to high school, it's just a dumb shithole anyway. So like it was completely backwards, and I don't think I actually learned anything in high school. But um, uh, but yeah, there's nothing. I didn't have any like major problems with anybody that I can think of.
Ugh,
One of my
my experience
English
was the
teachers
opposite.
lives down the street from me, which is weird 'cause I see him all the time. One of my English teachers from high school, but
Did you like him?
it's fine. Like it was that was where it was his class that I like realized that I can please people with my writing.
Well,
So
that's good. They
yeah,
had a good impact on you.
as much as I mean, it was nothing he taught me. It was just a chance to like I think it was just like write. Everyone had to write some kind of story about whatever they wanted, and then read it to the class, and people voted on stuff. Um, and I didn't win. For mine was clearly the best story and the most popular one, and I won't get into why I lost because someone else had a very sad story, and everyone just
Oh,
had to vote for that one.
oh.
So anyway, um, I guess when how long has this crash been out then? Just recently? I mean, if it's the number one thing on Netflix, that's must be somewhat recent, right?
Yeah, I think it just came out a couple weeks ago. Um, I had been seeing posts about it, and I had followed the trial when it was going on because it was so interesting because at first I didn't know the details about it, and I was like, "Wait, a 17-year-old was in a car accident and she was sober, and now she's gonna spend the rest of her life in prison for murdering these 2?" So I got into, like, looking up the details to
So
figure out.
how where were you seeing stuff about it before there was like a documentary or whatever?
Oh, there it was all over, like, social media because she was
Oh,
a social
right. Yeah,
media
yeah, okay.
influencer. So there was people posting about, what had happened. that the crash had happened and different theories and things, which is why I think it became a documentary.
Hmm.
But the type of girl that she was portrayed in the documentary, which I would be curious to see what her opinion is on that. She did seem like a mean girl, and again, Hulu did has their series of mean girl murders, and they featured her. So this was not sweet little Mackenzie who this was a girl who was kind of known for being a bully.
And I asked before about like how it was sort of framing it as like because these documentaries are weird nonsense anyway, right? They can show whatever they want and not show whatever they want. And I mean, it's just obviously her being guilty and everything that the documentary showed. Sure, sounds like she's guilty. Do you remember Making a Murderer? That was probably 10 years ago.
That sounds so familiar.
So that was a series that Netflix did. It was like 6 or 7 episodes
Yeah.
about uh, someone who was convicted of murder. Um, but the way they did that was like showing like all the weird sneaky things, like how he got prosecuted, and like basically like throughout the whole process, like all the things the police did wrong and all the things the prosecution did wrong, and like all these things that might be lies, and like, framing it like not that he's certainly innocent, but that he probably shouldn't have been convicted. Like, and that's why this reminds me of that. And that was this must have been like 10 years ago when that came out. But um, it's
Wow.
that's something to watch if you like The Crash. It sounds like.
Well, yeah, I did. I liked it in that I felt like it told the whole story,
Mm,
where you see both perspectives, but with all of these cases, I think it would be really hard to be on the jury because you never want to that's tough to have to put someone, um what if everyone's completely wrong? What if she legit had a medical situation during that moment and that she was at that place the couple days before because that's where she liked to go smoke pot, and it just and she was detouring there on the way home so they could go smoke pot before they went home. Although it sounds like all their parents were totally cool with them smoking at home. So
right.
I don't know. But what if there was some explanation for why she was there the day before? And what if this was they were on board with going there and then she had a medical emergency and slammed in? Like, what if that's the case? And now she's going to be in prison. A lot of people are not expecting her to get parole because since she's been behind jail, she keeps getting in trouble. Um, they have, I guess, they have like reports, kind of like you do get in high school, where you get written up. She gets written up just about daily,
Mm,
and so they're like, she's not going to get out in 15 years on good
yeah.
behavior because she's a rebel. She doesn't like being told what to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, if she did have some kind of excuse, like you're saying, to be in that area, that I mean, why wouldn't she have said that? Uh,
Yeah, she hasn't explained that.
like
So none
anything,
of it. Yeah,
anything that she could even make up about going to that weird detour would
yeah,
be better than, oh, I went there to kill these people. Like, oh, we just wanted to go out and do some drugs. Okay, great, that's an excuse. Okay.
yeah,
But so I mean that doesn't
yeah.
make sense, that there could be these other explanations that they wouldn't have bothered saying. And then you said that when she was talking to her mom in their special language, that they're
Yeah.
like, hey, maybe
You
what if
say I
we
had
just
a
say I've got
seizure.
these
Yeah.
like this medical stuff, how about that? And that the fact
Yeah.
that they're obviously trying to hide that, and because they were making it up. um yeah, that's
I'm just so curious what happened from the snuggling up with him the night before to the next morning, her saying, I'm going to do this.
well she
That's the part I hate about these things.
well
I
she
just
already
want
she
the
already knew
answers.
she was going to do it. Like that's
Yeah.
before the morning. She probably didn't decide, oh, like now's the time. She probably was planning it all. I mean, And the fact that she was at that place before,
Yeah.
presumably to see if there's a nice wall to run into.
So she couldn't just like wait until she was alone in the car. I mean, not that I wanted him to go to, but his friend is just totally
Right.
innocent in this.
Right.
He's just like, oh, let me hop a ride.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Uh, it was it was so sad hearing the parents like just speak about their kid, and the one, he was a football player and had he was heading to college and all these like dreams and future that they were building, and it's just gone, and I can't even imagine being a parent and getting that call and then realizing that this was no accident. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Well, maybe the grieving parents can go after the social media happy parent, and there can be a new documentary in a few years.
Well, those parents are getting ripped all apart on social media, so they're not liked well right now. I feel like they're getting the dad again got fired. The mother's getting they're being torn apart as the
Uh,
worst parents on the planet.
uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think they're the worst parents. I mean, they just sounds like they just weren't parents.
Yeah, they want to be their kid's friend, which you can be a friend once you're an adult. My mom, I feel like, was very much a parent to me growing up. Now she's my best friend. Now I can talk to her about anything like I would like one of my close girlfriends. Um, but growing up, she was the parent, I was the child. Now we're more on I'm 43, and so now we're more like on equal, where
All right.
we're like friends, best friends. And that's amazing. I love that. I want to do the same with my son. I want to make sure I'm the parent when he needs to be a parent, when he needs a parent. And when he's an adult and needs a friend, I want to be his best friend.
Well, hopefully that plan works out. All right. Um, well, if everyone's made it this far, why don't you gently press that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up on the YouTubes?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check out Explaining Reality on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Links are in the episode description.